Licensing. What is licensing? Is that what you're wondering? Why? What? Well, Prohibition was almost 100 years ago. And when they repealed Prohibition, they made what's called the ABC, the three-tier system, the distilling, which has to sell to the wholesaler, which has to sell to the retailer. In addition, they delegated the authority all to every state, which, it's 50 states. As a distiller, in some states, you can sell directly to the client, but it's a little more difficult than that. There are tiers in the distillery. Nano in one state might be a farm distillery, in another state, which might be in another state craft. All pretty much the same thing. But in another state, there's no such category at all. You're a distillery. So every state has its categories in the distilling industry. Distillery is not a brewery. It's a hard alcohol. Over 40%, you have to have a whiskey still. In addition, there's another category, which I failed to mention, that's fruit distilling. Grapes, grappa, calvados, or applejack, fruits. Some states separate the two, some states don't. Some require you to use local produce, some do not. Suffice it to say, you got to work through the ABCs. A is a distiller, B is a wholesaler, and C is retailer. However, in a state that you distill, there are often enough exceptions that will let you sell directly to consumer, be it in shop, be it directly to liquor shops. In addition, some states will let other micro distilleries, farm distilleries, nano distilleries, craft distilleries, depending on a certain barrel, sell directly to stores. Not that easy, you might say, even though you might think that is, because there's something called price posting. Every state requires you to price the cost of your bottle in the state. Some states will say, hey, you still have to price post if you're selling directly to the state. Other states will say, no, if you price post, then we got to regulate, you got to do the ABCs. You can sell directly to the consumer, to the store. So every single state has its nuances, its book of laws, its different codes, and it's really a game to study. I mean, some states will permit you to ship to the wholesaler, or retailer in their state. If you're a nano distillery, micro distillery, craft distillery, other states will say you got to do the delivery yourself, making it very tedious and cumbersome and very often not worthwhile. In addition, you might know the laws, but you have to educate every liquor store that you go into. They say, hey, I got to work through the local liquor authority. I got to work through a wholesaler. You're like, no, here's the laws. Here's what it states. You can work directly with me. So there's a lot of education going on, a lot of steps to the process. But hey, am I glad and proud of my decal. Back to paperwork.